So, in my last video, I got a very long comment asking a bunch of questions about 4-star characters in Arknight's Endfield. Stuff like, are they useless? Are they a waste of resources? And are they just beginner bait? I did a lot of research, combined that with what I've seen in the beta and what we already know from the OG Arknight, and I came up with some answers. So let's go through these one by one. But if you want the T.L.D.R version, you can skip to the timestamp at the end. But because I won't be getting watch time, if you do skip to the end, I would appreciate if you leave a like to help the channel. Will 4-star units stay relevant in the endgame? Or will they fall off once you get enough 5 stars and 6-star units? From what I've played and seen so far, Endfield doesn't look like it'll follow the usual main DPS, sub DPS and healer team structure. There are a ton of mechanics. Status effects, crowd control, SP recovery, elemental inflictions, all that matters. Yes, we still have main DPS characters, but it really looks like every character has a niche. If you need SP recovery, cryo infliction and healing, a specific character might do exactly that. Unless they release a 6-star that does exactly the same thing, that niche stays relevant. And with how many mechanics exist, filling every niche with a premium character is going to be very hard. Are 4-star characters a waste of resources? It depends. If a 4-star character fills a niche your team needs to function properly, then no, that's not a waste. If you just level up every character you pull without thinking, then yeah, that's on you. And this doesn't only apply to 4-star units. You can absolutely waste resources on a 6-star if that character requires conditions you can't meet. At the end of the day, it's like any other game. Figure out what your team is missing and build towards that. Rarity doesn't magically fix bad team building. Is investing in 4-star units a long-term mistake? I touched on this just now, but with how many mechanics and status interactions exist, it'll take a long time before every niche gets power creep. Even if future characters deal more damage, the ones affected would mostly be other main DPS units. And honestly, I doubt Endfield will revolve around funneling everything into one character for one-shot builds. The combat feels closer to a raid boss setup, where every character is doing their own job instead of being DPS cheerleaders. Will players regret leveling 4-star units once stronger characters appear? Sometimes, yes. If you level up a 4-star and the very next banner releases a 5-star or 6-star that fills the exact same niche but better, then yeah, that will feel bad. But unless this turns into Honkai Star Rail levels of power creep, I don't think that will happen often. Characters usually fill multiple roles, so releasing a direct replacement will take time. By the time a premium version appears, you've probably already gotten plenty of value of that 4-star. Are 4-star units just temporary beginner tools meant to be replaced? Yes, that's how every gacha game works. The real question isn't if they're going to be replaced, it's when. If this follows the Hoyoverse model, some units become useless almost immediately. If it's closer to the original Arknights, then 4-star units can stay relevant as long as they fill a specific niche. Why make 4-star characters at all if players eventually run full 5-star or 6-star teams? Same reason other gachas do. Some people will find niche uses. Some people will use them because they like the character. And story-wise, having more characters mean the narrative doesn't revolve around random ass NPCs for half a patch. That said, yeah, from a dev perspective, 4-stars don't really make money. So the real answer probably lives somewhere between design philosophy and storytelling needs. Won't the meta require full 5-star/6-star teams anyway? Probably, like most gachas. That said, meta teams are usually built around damage. and Endfield doesn't seem as damage centric as other games. So there's a chance 4-star units still show up in meta teams, at least in specific scenarios. Will endgame demand premium units and make 4 stars unviable? The true endgame is the factory we built along the way. But jokes aside, we won't really know until around 6 months after launch, when the meta is settled and people have tested everything. Is it bad design if 4-star characters trick players into wasting resources? I don't think so. If you care about meta and don't research before investing, that's kind of user error. Players who level up everything usually don't care about meta. They just want to play their favorites. Is it smarter to only invest in 5-star or 6-star units? Will 4-star investment be punished later? Not really. Progression is meant to be smooth, just like in MMOs. You start with low tier gear, so you can farm better gear, then better gear, and so on. If you only have 4-star units, you start there. By the time you're swimming in 6-star characters, you'll also have the resources to level them. Everything takes time, that's just how these games work. Some players will regret using 4 stars if the game punishes low rarity units. Honestly, I'm worse off than them. They can fix that with skill and team building. I have skill issues, so I'll probably not be able to clear endgame even with the best team in the game. 4-star units should fill niches, not dominate the game. If they're too strong, people won't pull for 6-star units, and that leads to power creep later down the line and quality drops. I'd rather have 4-star units stay useful sometimes than have the game spiral out of control. Now, for the T.L.D.R. 4-star characters in the Endfield are not useless, but they're also not meant to replace 5-stars or 6-star units. They exist to fill specific niches, especially in a game built around multiple mechanics, status effects and team interactions rather than pure DPS, at least for now. Investing in a 4-star is only a mistake if you don't understand why you're using them. Resources aren't truly wasted. Progression just slows down if you build characters your team doesn't need. And this applies to all rarities, not just 4-stars. Over time, higher rarity units will usually be better for meta play due to higher stats. But power creep won't instantly invalidate 4-star units unless a premium character directly replaces their exact niche, which likely won't happen often. 4-star units are there to help players progress, experiment and build teams organically. They'll eventually be replaced in some cases, but not immediately, and not across the board. Build what your team needs, not what the rarity says. If a 4-star fills a role, then it's doing its job. Anyway, I think that covers all the questions, but at the end we can only be 100% accurate when the game comes out and the meta is established. So it's going to take a while for us to know all this for sure. Let me know what you think in the comments, like, subscribe, and as always, stay critical. Bye bye.
Don't go too far. Mr. Golly. Trust me.